Truman.
Good morning! Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
After a long, for us, a break from travel, we just landed in Florida for our favorite Florida destination. We're at the Panama City airport.
And this is definitely not the Florida that most people are familiar with. It's not Miami Beach, it's not Daytona Beach, it's not Palm Beach. Those are all Florida Peninsula places. We are in the Panhandle, which is really like a completely different state, if you ask me.
But still Florida.
Now, if you're thinking like, what are you guys doing in Florida? You need to get your butts back over to Asia. Yes, please stick with us because in 2 more weeks, we're gonna be flying back to Manila by way of Oahu and Guam. And we're gonna be doing some apartment hunting while we're there. But we wanted to fit in one last little trip right here in the States before we head out. But we're actually gonna be driving over to a cool little town called Seaside, Florida. Now, if you've never been to Seaside, you can actually get a really good feel for it in about 15 minutes just by renting a movie from about 25 years ago starring Jim Carrey called The Truman Show. What's unique about that movie is this. Most films do a lot of filming inside of a Hollywood set or studio and pretend like they're on location. But The Truman Show is the complete opposite. In the movie, they're supposedly filming everything in a massive Hollywood set. In reality, it was filmed on location in Seaside, Florida. So we're gonna take you around and show you not only the way too big for our family home that we get to stay in as part of our Inspirato Pass membership, but some of our favorite sights and bites around town, and give you a complete tour of some of the more iconic landmarks from the film and show you what they look like today. But first, we need to go get our rental car and our luggage.
Yes, off to Avis, which we have a Chairman's Club membership, also through our Inspirato membership. Thanks so much. Well, that was awesome and really super quick. We just walked right up and they said, here's your stuff, let's go. We just have to find our car. Row 4, spot 171.
It's Florida summertime for you. The heat and humidity hit you like a brick wall. Just gotta get to the car and get the AC on before it really settles in.
The only thing I'm looking forward to is catching guacamole. Guacamole is, it's a Cuban nightingale, which are really rare in the spot that I caught them. But it's like a giant greeningle that is only like about a foot or 2 long, head to tail, and they have the bite force of a 3-foot iguana. She won't be in the car.
Yeah. Erin totally left her suitcase at the Avis counter, so she has to go back and get it. But it is so, I think that the temperature has gone up 30 degrees just since we walked outside. So we're gonna get to the car and turn on the air conditioning. 171, buddy. Looks like we got a GMC Acadia.
I've been outside for like 5 minutes and I'm sweating. There is sweat going down my... Oh my God, it's so hard to breathe in here, bro.
Here she comes, the walk of shame.
I'm a bonehead. I'm sorry.
Did security steal it from you yet?
No, it was just sitting there right next to the desk, right where I let go to the handle. Look, this is an upgraded car. I think we reserved like a Toyota Corolla, but with the Chairman's Club, they upgrade you to whatever the nicest car they have available. So we saved a ton of money. Gotta pull up the map, and it's about a 46-minute drive.
The name of our house is Rain Lily. So this is part of the Inspirato portfolio.
Right.
And we're about 20 seconds away.
I'm pretty sure it's named Rain Lily because it's on Rain Lily Lane. How cute is that name? This house is humongous. Look at Buzz already. The house is huge. Oh my gosh. 2 carports and a garage. Holt's looking for greeninals already. Those are lizards. I mean, we just assume this is the right house. It's unlocked, the door's open a little. It smells so good. It smells like a spa, like lavender. Okay, we're in the right house. It's a note from Inspirato. Welcome, Lockwood family. We are so excited to welcome you to Watercolor Beach. Please let us know if you should need anything at all. But what I really got excited about are these pies. Oh my goodness. Is that mango?
Pick it up.
There are 4!
What is it?
Look, there's 4 beds. There's a TV here. That's 1.
My goodness. I can't even get keep track of like what room we're in at the time and we're moving around. Holy smokes.
I'm kind of confused. 2.
All right, guys, you can each pick 2 bedrooms, okay?
I don't think I ever want to leave this house. I haven't seen all of the house yet. It's humongous. Look at this, 4 twin beds, kind of like the bunk room. Its own bathroom. I mean, Colt's excited already. They better not be picking the master. It really is insane. I have never seen a bigger barn door than this.
Hands up.
Stop, this is mine. No, how about this? The last person to leave this room is gets the room. I call it.
If you leave this room, then I leave. The kids are not getting this room. Phil and I are gonna get the master. It has a king-size bed, a huge bathroom with a tub in the shower room, and its own living room. I have a coffee bar right here. I could literally roll out of bed, get coffee, not even go downstairs.
I call the entire top floor.
We'll see about that. This is a nice little office.
Yeah,
Oh,
mine too.
look behind you, a Peloton. It's like nothing but screaming.
Now Brooklyn's screaming, where are you? Bottom floor, she says. Let's go to the bottom floor. Where are you?
Brooklyn?
Yeah, where?
Brooklyn's room. My room. Brooklyn's room. It's my room and you're not allowed to argue. I have a contract right there. I get an iron, so if you guys break in, you know what's gonna happen.
All right, that's not a bad place to stay. All right, I mean, we have 7 to choose from, so you got it.
Okay, let's get back to these pies because they look pretty impressive. A key lime pie, I think. Woo! Key lime pie is one of my favorite things ever. Chocolate covered strawberries, and I think you're right, babe. I'm pretty sure that's a mango pie. Now, as usual, Inspirato has hooked us up with everything that we need to basically facilitate our stay here. And we've got paperwork with complete guides. In addition to being able to just like call or text them to ask for dinner reservations or recommendations on what to do, any of that stuff, they also put together a whole packet of things. Every resource you could possibly need. It's like we're at Disney World. You even have these little wristbands that have the electronic piece in there so that we can go to the watercolor resort stuff here. They have like lazy river and I think maybe water slides and pools and workout centers and everything like that. And that's an important note. We're right next to Seaside, Florida. We're actually in an area called Watercolor, and then there's Rosemary Beach, Destin, Florida. These are all in an area that's very popular.
Right away wanting the Wi-Fi password. It's usually actually here, hun. And with all that said, I don't even know if I want to leave the house. We could get lost in this house and super comfortable.
But we're gonna leave the house because we're gonna show you everything that we promised we were gonna show you.
But we might not leave the house. We might just stay here.
Right, but we're definitely gonna leave the house.
We're definitely gonna have some chips and salsa for dinner and, beer for libations and the pies for dessert. Plans made.
It's a little bit backwards. We're gonna have the pies for dinner and chips and salsa for dessert and beer maybe.
We don't actually drink beer. We're cocktail people.
But still very thoughtful, Inspirato. Thank you.
Yeah, and we're just realizing there's also a carriage house.
So in total, 7 bedrooms, 6 of which are either queen beds or king beds. And then you have the one bunk room, which is gonna be the 4 twins. So even if you had 4 kids here, you still have 6 other bedrooms, including the carriage house, AKA Colt's apartment. Let's go check that out.
Now hold on, hold the phone. I don't know if that's gonna be his apartment. Phil and I are debating. I don't know if he's old enough. He's 11. So we are right above the garage. It's a single car garage. We have a little code, which we're not gonna show you. The Mojo Dojo Colty Casa house.
What is that from?
Barbie. But it is a great little apartment. It has its own living room and TV, a kitchen with, a stove and everything. There's nothing you can't do here except laundry. That's the only thing it's missing is a laundry room. Queen bed, not a king, and a nice bathroom, and its own balcony. I think this is the best part, that it has its own balcony.
Turns out there's a great grocery store just down the road. So we're gonna go over there, stock up on some food, maybe some beverages. We're gonna lay low here tonight, and then tomorrow morning we'll be back with you because we're gonna take you out on the town and show you all that cool stuff we promised.
And we're gonna debate and figure out where Colt's sleeping.
Colt, get your suitcase, take it up to your apartment. Don't forget to get your suitcase.
So long, empty nesters.
The more we travel, the less we want to just sit on a beach or hang out poolside. Now we like to chase adventure. And that means getting away from the house, hotel, or resort and looking for authentic local culture. Our YouTube episodes are packed with things like street food hunts, jungle adventures, diving excursions, zip line experiences, and island hopping. Well, Viator is a one-stop shop for all of these. We can search through a collection of almost 500,000 experiences around the world, reserve a spot now but pay later, and take advantage of free cancellation whenever our plans change. And our plans always be changing. Think of Viator as like an Uber or Grab, but for experiences. The quick, easy, and lower cost way to get more from your travels without having to spend weeks researching every site and bite on your own. Just go to followabc.com/Viator to browse ideas for your destination, check traveler ratings and reviews, and let the experts guide your travel adventures.
It is fine. My glasses are fogging up, the camera's fogging up. It's the humidity, and I actually love the humidity. How crazy am I?
It's a little bit better.
We could just as easily walk into town, but with our equipment and the heat, I think it's better to be in the car in the AC. And it's probably what, a 5-minute drive, 10-minute walk. And I had to ditch the sweater. It is so hot right now.
Since we have a parking pass for Watercolor, which is right next to Seaside, we went a few blocks beyond the Seaside downtown area, and then we're just gonna walk in. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to find free parking in Seaside proper. Most of it's gonna be hourly paid parking. This entire coastal area is about a 20-mile stretch along the coast, sometimes referred to as the Emerald Coast, probably because depending on the time of year, the water, which is super beautiful, can be this very deep green color. But it's also referred to as 30A because all of the communities are right along County Road 30A, which stretches in between the bigger cities of Destin to the west and Panama City to the east.
But all these little towns and areas are very walkable and very bikeable. It's pedestrian friendly for sure.
And we've just turned down Natchez Street, which is our first iconic landmark from the movie. This is the actual Truman House. It still stands, looks almost exactly the same, although they painted it some additional colors. But 36 Natchez Street is the Truman House from the film, right here.
Good morning.
In case I don't see ya.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
And good night.
Right in front of the main Seaside Plaza, this street, 30A, is lined with food trucks and taco stands, tiki bars. Bud and Alley's is a pretty well-known name around here. There's a few restaurants under that name. Pizza, bar and grill, oh, and pickles. We're gonna get the kids some shaved ice to cool them off.
They have grape, passion fruit, peach, pineapple, pink bubblegum, cotton candy, pink lemonade, Polar Punch, red raspberry, root beer, strawberry, vanilla, watermelon, green apple, lemon, lime, mango, orange, banana, birthday cake, black cherry. Can I get grape, blue raspberry, and Polar Punch, please? Thank you. You're welcome. What's the small? What is the large then? Thank you.
Seaside is so much more than just another arbitrary US beach town. I mean, its role in popular culture and global community design is legendary. Let me read you something from Time magazine. The most astounding design achievement of its era, because Seaside is credited with starting a global town planning movement known as New Urbanism. And Newsweek magazine says, with its cozy, narrow streets and its jumble of pastel-colored homes, Seaside is probably the most influential resort community since Versailles.
This is so cute, the doggy water station. They have ice buckets to keep their drinks cold, but then of course it's so hot out here, the ice is gonna melt, so they've got drip pans to the doggy bowls so the dogs have ice cold water, and the birds take advantage too. They've got freezing cold ice baths.
Colt, do you remember the scene in the movie where there's a guy on the ladder in the shop, the market, and he's like kind of putting away ketchup bottles?
It's a market, I see it.
Yeah, Modica Market. Opened in 1988 by Sarah and Charles Modica. It's still here today. They didn't even change the name for the movie. And the guy on the ladder is their son, Charlie, who you can still catch in here a lot of times. We're gonna see if he's around. All right, Brooklyn and Cole have to stay out here because they're not done with their shave ice yet. We're gonna go inside for a sec. I'm gonna try to get a Red Bull because I missed mine today.
And I know I can go for some ice water.
Right over here is where the vending machines were that he was stocking, right here. And if you look up at the top of these shelves real quick, see that railing? That's for the ladder, which should be around the corner. This is the actual ladder from the movie. Looks like he'd be stocking wine today instead of ketchup, but that's an improvement anyway. Something else you see in the movie, and is really an iconic landmark for Seaside, is the local post office. It is one of the most photographed post offices in the entire world. People will come here just to buy their little postcards and then ship them off to friends so that it has a postmark from Seaside, Florida. The post office was actually built before the town was, although this was not the original location. It's kind of a moving target. It used to be right in the middle of the plaza, but now they've moved it out here to the outer edge of the plaza.
This actually isn't our first time in Seaside, Florida. We were here about 7 or 8 years ago for 2 of our closest friends' wedding. Brooklyn was actually a flower girl and Colt was the best dressed 3-year-old there. We discovered something that stuck with us forever, and that is a Great Southern Mojito.
I've talked about Great Southern Mojitos in episodes before, and in fact, I think I tried to mimic their mojito recipe in one of our Hump Day Happy Hour episodes or something, but it's so good, even in its base form, but they have some really good flavors here. Our favorite, we're gonna show you in just a second. When we were out here a few years ago, I think we tried every flavor of mojito they have. The classic's really good. They've got coconut, melon, peach, strawberry, coconut, cherry, mango, guava, pineapple. We definitely tried them all. And I think that by far our favorite was the peach. That's what I got today. It's good because it's not just peach liqueur that they put in there, it's actual peaches. So you get a lot of really fresh peach flavor. It's absolutely delicious. It's raining. Brooklyn's going to play in the rain.
In addition to the mojitos, they have a classic Southern menu. So I'm gonna get the shrimp and grits.
There's no better meal to experience Southern food than brunch, and that's what we're in right now. So I'm looking at the brunch menu insert, chicken and waffles. I've only had that one time in my entire life. It was in Savannah, Georgia. We've got that in our episode. Absolutely phenomenal, worth all the hype. They have beignets, ginger shots, mimosas, Bloody Marys, Benedicts, fried green tomato Benedict, crab cake Benedict, avocado toast. Got a half order of the beignets, which are basically little powdered sugar covered donuts, and these I think are made out of biscuits, Southern biscuits, which is their own spin on a New Orleans classic.
Ooh, they're still a little hot, but I'll go. Now I gotta eat it.
Yeah.
Ooh, let's go.
Is it
It's
better
like-
with the ice
It's
water?
like a churro, but replacing the cinnamon sugar with powder. I was gonna blow on them.
Really?
Ooh, our food's here.
Are those frog legs? I got frog legs, better known as pajama pants. There's a seed on it. One moment. I've always wanted to try frog legs. I've only done it like once.
Okay, what does it taste like?
It's like chicken, but more sad. It's like biting into a chicken while being sad because it tastes like chicken, but I'm eating a frog.
Checks out.
Now I regret eating this because now I'm sad because it could have just been a chicken and you wouldn't have had to kill like 5 of these. But yeah, you killed like 10 frogs to get as much as 1 chicken.
Is there a bone in there?
Yeah, they cooked them whole, just their legs, all the meat.
It's like chicken, but more sad. Checks out, actually.
I basically got a martini glass full of crab meat and a few accoutrements. Basically $26 worth of crab meat. Really good crab meat.
It's good. It's refreshing because it's cold, too. Now I'm kind of jealous because I wish I ordered a cold dish.
I'm gonna try one of these frog legs. Here's an interesting fact. Frog legs are one of the very first things I ever ate with Aaron. On our very first fake accidental date, we had frog legs at Beatrice and Woodsley in Denver, Colorado. It's really juicy and tender.
It's like a mix between chicken and fish, and it's a little bit chewy, but overall I love it, except it's just sad. It's like mental abuse to humans. It's like math. Oh, do you know
They're really good, better than chicken.
I love getting shrimp and grits when we're in the South. It actually started in Charleston as shrimps and hominy and then sort of evolved over time. But it's blackened shrimp, so it's got all of that really great seasoning on there. And then this sauce that they have with it, I see some collard greens, another classic Southern dish, and these are some sweet potato Crispies on top. There's Gouda cheese in these grits. I don't regret getting a hot dish now. This is what I needed.
All right, it's time to go. Speaking of to go, I got one more cocktail for the road because here you can walk around on the streets and sidewalks with booze in hand. Right up here is where we stayed when we were out here for our friend's wedding, and I remember coming down the stairs here and walking next door to Great Southern to get to-go mojitos for Aaron and me like all night long.
Oh, all night long, huh? This place was adorable though. It was super cottagey feeling, perfect size for us. We had the 3 kids. Reagan was there too. She was actually a junior bridesmaid in the wedding. We just had the best memories from that trip.
Right up here is Coleman Tower. This is where you pass from the Main Street area into the beach area. And you can see this throughout the film in various areas as a backdrop.
This is fun.
Oh yeah.
Water, it's so clear.
This is the only place in the US that you can get a beach like this. The color, it's Caribbean color, because this is the Caribbean Sea that we're getting, right?
Gulf of Mexico.
It's the Gulf of Mexico that we're getting. But the sand is like powdery, sugary, so fine. I don't even know if you can build a sandcastle here. The sand is so fine. But I feel like we can just run into that water like we do in the Bahamas. Woo-hoo-hoo!
It's so white you could be forgiven for thinking it was snow instead of sand. Speaking of sandcastles, you actually do have to be careful if you're just east of here at Panama City on the beach, because they have some very specific laws against digging holes that are deeper than 2 feet or wider than 2 feet. So if you're one of those people who likes to dig a long hole for somebody to lie down in so you can cover them up, you might get a fine or even more. Also, you're not allowed to use any kind of a metal digging utensil in the sand. And the reason for this really stems from the whole drug trade. They don't want people trying to hide drug activity or bury drugs in the sand to get later. So they just have a rule that prevents you from digging anything too deep.
I had no idea. You're so smart. We've got one more stop before this is over.
There's a point in the film during which Truman gets really suspicious about what's going on, and he's sitting in this car. He convinces his wife to get in the car, and then he starts driving around the entire neighborhood really erratically, and he starts doing this roundabout thing over and over and over. And in the middle of that roundabout is a gazebo, and it's called the Tupelo Street Gazebo. They didn't build that gazebo for the film. In fact, it was a place where in the early years of this community, they would use it as a public meeting place. And for that reason, it's considered the first public building in the neighborhood. And today you can actually rent that gazebo out, and they'll cordon off the street so that you can have a small wedding. An interesting tidbit, the town's founders, Robert and Daryl Davis, did exactly that. That's where they were married.
Oh, interesting. I mean, it seems like Seaside's a pretty great place to get married. Our friends had a wonderful wedding here. I feel like I remember taking pictures on this street.
I know that was a relatively quick episode for us, and certainly a quick overview of this area. If you've never been, it's really a beautiful place in the US to come visit almost any time of year. But we wanted to treat it a little bit like a quick family vacation before we head back across the pond to Asia. So a big thank you as always to our longtime travel partner, Inspirato. They're the ones who hooked us up with this incredible home and most of the epic lodging experiences that we've had around the world over the past 3 years. If you want to learn more about that program, you can go to followabc.com/pass. We have some examples, we have some introductory information, and we can make an introduction to our insiders over there so that you can maybe get a proposal for yourself. If you can afford good quarterly family vacations, there's a good chance you can afford an Inspirato membership, and it's been an absolute game changer for us since we started traveling almost full time. Check it out. But now we're heading back to Denver just long enough so that we can swap out our luggage and head to Manila, Philippines. We're gonna be doing apartment shopping, we're gonna be doing country hopping, we're gonna be doing island hopping. We've got some incredible adventures coming up, so be sure to subscribe and follow us along.
And we get to see the Ocampos! Woo!
Interesting side note, T-Mobile has 0 bars here.
But we have bars. We're gonna go to the liquor store.
But, Dad...
Get it? This feels like a bartender. At least he's getting some leafy greens.
For unhealthy chicken, but it's lettuce wrapped. Drinking super unhealthy drink, but it's lettuce wrapped.